I thought it's funny that there's a lot of people who didn't even know this movie was gonna come out, and then recently it's all that everyone has been talking about, which is, I just find that really funny.
Excuse me. Final round. Pizza.
So, this is my spoiler-free review of Return to Silent Hill, and there would be probably more videos in the future just so I can go into it a lot deeper, do a deep dive on the lore of Silent Hill in general. I just feel like it's needed, but for this one, let's talk about it. First off, I'm gonna throw in this question. Did I think this was the greatest movie that was ever made? I mean, it's only January, so of course not. Now, was I able to appreciate the movie on its own without comparing it to the games or to the lore and just having a great time with it? Yes, I did. Now, for the amount of movies that I have seen last year, I have seen a lot. And the favorites that I've had from 2025 were Mulholland Drive, I've seen Cure, and I've seen Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, and all are freaking bangers. But I also have seen Blood Fart Lake, Piglet, Don't Fuck in the Woods, and I still had a great time watching them on Tubi, obviously. Now, did I think those were masterpieces? No, but did I have a great time with it? Did I have fun with it? Absolutely. My point is, I was able to go into those movies completely blind with no bias at all, and I was still able to appreciate them regardless from point A to point B or from point A to point Z, or even if it's messed up in there somewhere, I'd still appreciate it. Now moving on to Silent Hill, I did watch the original from 2006 and it wasn't perfect, but I still think it was decent enough regardless of its flaws. And I actually really liked it. I had to rewatch it recently as a refresher for this upcoming new movie, and then I also was able to watch Silent Hill Revelation or Revelations back then, and regardless of its mess and chaos, I was still able to go through the entire movie and appreciate it for what it was. It was insufferable for the most part, I would say. It was nowhere near perfect, but I appreciated the effort that they tried to make on that one as well. Like, in the end, it ultimately has become one of the most unforgettable bad movies that are out there. But to me, I kind of just viewed it as a bad good movie, if that makes any sense, because of what it was trying to do the entire time. It's still entertaining. So for this new movie that just came out, Return to Silent Hill, it's also directed by Christoph Gans, who was also behind the original movie from 2006. I didn't really let the other movies, the games, the lore, the ratings, the reviews affect me in any way. I just went into there completely blind and just appreciated it. But it didn't really affect me as much, which is something I'm really grateful for, that I'm that kind of person. And especially after having played Silent Hill 2 Remake recently, which is a masterpiece by the way, I really love the entire game. But I can also see how this movie could be frustrating and insulting to some of the hardcore Silent Hill fans of the games, mainly because I know that Gans has reiterated over and over through a period of time that he would be making a faithful adaptation of the game, and I feel like he was missing out on exploring that more and explaining it to the fans or to the audience in general and just specifying what he meant with it. But I was like, you know what, that's okay. I needed something cheesy and cringy and fun and entertaining once in a while. So this one delivered and I actually enjoyed it, which probably has led to the disappointment into this movie, regardless if you had expectations or not. I honestly think he was being faithful when it comes to the adaptation of the themes, the spirit, the atmosphere of the game, but not in a literal sense. Like, the exact same heartbeat of recreating the entire game and translating it fully in its entirety into the movie, which I'm perfectly fine with regardless. I mean, he's always been well known for making these bold, sweeping changes from the source material ever since he made Silent Hill 2006, so this didn't really surprise me a lot. For this film, he definitely kept in mind or insisted the psychological romantic horror tone or element from the game to this film, and I'm a sucker for that, so that's probably why it landed well for me. The visuals for this movie, I didn't really mind. Some were bad, some were really good and effective. Some of the practical effects were actually really good, including the prosthetics that were used into bringing the monsters into life, which I thought was really cool, especially when he had contortionists and acrobats that were playing the nurses. I thought that was really cool. I thought Jeremy Irvin, who played James Sunderland in this movie, was also really good on this one, even though his English accent has slipped a few times. I didn't really mind. And Hannah Emily Anderson, I didn't even know that she had 3 roles in this movie. I thought it was just Mary and Maria, but no, she was also Angela in this one, which I think is really cool. Evie Templeton, who played as Laura, was also really good in my opinion. I love how the locations were there, like the opening parking lot overlooking the Toluca Lake, Heaven's Nightclub, Woodside Blue Creek Apartments, the Brookhaven Hospital, and the Lakeview Hotel. I wanted the Toluca prison and more of the labyrinth, but it wasn't enough to take me out of the movie. There were some scenes where it felt like it was directly taken from the game, and I really loved that, especially when the monsters came to life on the screen. It was a whole new experience, especially when Abstract Daddy's very brief yet disturbing exposure was there. I personally love slow burn movies, so the pacing did not really affect me because I love the brooding atmosphere. I also like the shifting of the scenes from past and present. While I do have my positives on this film, I did have some things that did not land well for me. Obviously, like the exposure of Eddie and Angela in this movie, I feel like they needed more time exploring their background and story, especially of the traumatic events that they've been through. Another thing that I noticed was I feel like Gans was trying to introduce this movie to the viewers who also have not played the game because there has been some clues right away from the beginning. I feel like he tried that aspect in a way, but it wasn't well executed enough for people to notice. And I'm not sure if I'm tripping, but I also did see a portion of that movie where there was a puzzle also involved, and that's another thing I wish there was more of it. The gravestone scene, oh my goodness, that was where I laughed a lot, but I did understand you can't fit the entire game and lore into a 2-hour movie. I also think the cult aspect in this one was not really necessary, but there is a scene in the labyrinth where it reminded me a lot of it, and it was one of my favorite parts of the game. But the cult alone should be in a completely different movie, in my opinion. However, the costumes and looks, like, come on now, you can do better than that. Overall, I still think Gans was trying to capture a more reimagining of the game into the movie than directly translating the source material to the game. Honestly, I feel like this would be a lot better if it was turned into a TV series like The Last of Us. That way we get to explore more of the lore, the characters on their own, so we can do a deep dive or a character study of each and every single one of them and explore their trauma and everything else. Whether this was seen as a to-be original or not, I was still really glad that I was able to see this in the movie theater, especially when I happened to have seen it on my birthday, which is something I did not really expect that was coming is this movie, and I happen to be a big fan of it, so it was an overall satisfying viewing experience, and I'll probably make more videos in the future, most likely because I'm obsessed with this game and the movies. And so if you want to check this one out, go ahead and watch it whenever you can, whether it's in the theaters, whether it's streaming. Formulate your own opinions, and once you have, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. My name's Christine. I love all things horror and I love movies. Make sure to hit that like button, give me a follow if you want to, and I'll see you guys on my next video.